Travis Wayne Goodsell. So, watching The Lost Symbol, Robert Langdon is trying to search for the protected hidden knowledge, and he had to find the capstone for the pyramid. And as I'm watching this, it occurred to me some extra information that is encoded by Joseph Smith in his 1838 visionary account in regards to the second vision. And as Mormons, we are purposely led astray from this knowledge because the church does not want us to know that Joseph Smith Sr. was a master mason of the York Rites Lodge that has the highest rank of the Knights Templar. And so they know the myths of the Knights Templar. And it's also in combination with Jewish Kabbalah, which also is in the show. And so, yeah, this is fully inspiring for me. But again, frustrates me because Dan Brown still doesn't know sufficiently. And yeah, I know the TV show isn't in harmony with his book, because there's some liberties that were taken to make it into a TV show, and then his original book will be replaced with the TV show version. Very frustrating. I liked his original books. I like the movies too, but keep the original books. It's okay. And then you can just do a secondary book for the movie versions and TV show version. And so, I know what the secret of the Knights Templar is because of Joseph Smith. I know the national treasure of the Knights Templar because of Joseph Smith. It's amusing that in The Lost Symbol, it's just supposed to be knowledge that's just supposed to be kept from everybody. Nobody's supposed to know it, and it's supposed to be protected and guarded so that nobody ever knows it. What good is it then? Why protect something that you don't want anybody to find out because, the wrong hands might get it? I mean, seriously, what good is knowledge if you're not going to share it? That's what Plato was all about. Once you obtain knowledge, you now have a responsibility to teach other people that knowledge. But, that's Dan Brown's fault. Trying to make it an exciting show. Not logically sound. But I've gone over with you the second vision. I've gone over with you the first vision. And how it's Jewish interpretation that must be applied to it. Because if you apply literal history, you purposely don't get the symbolism that is Jewish and Knights Templar. And so here we're going to the hill itself. In verse 51, convenient to the village of Manchester, Ontario County, New York, stands a hill of considerable size. And it is real. There are photos of it. It is a mound, a hill. And he says on the west side, not far from the top. What does the top of the mountains mean? Exactly, Utah. Utah means top of the mountains. and it's west of the United States. And so, under a stone, capstone, are the Egyptian gold plates. Now, they aren't real. They aren't there. People dug up that whole mound looking for them. Couldn't find them. It's not there. Not because it's magical and disappears into another dimension. With Nephi, not Moroni, remember? Joseph Smith Papers, Nephi. The church purposely leads us astray by calling it Moroni. He saw Nephi, and it's important, and I've told you why. First, second, third, fourth, kings. Nephi. And inside, there's also the other items. But that's the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is the capstone. In a language of the Egyptians. It represents Horus, the son of Osiris, who returns and restores the kingdom of his father. The bloodline of King David, the descendant. And thus the Egyptian gold plates. The knowledge of the prophecies of Horus of the latter days. The cornerstone and the capstone. So notice how Nelson purposely led Mormons astray by telling you that Jesus is the chief cornerstone of the cornerstone. That's not only a false translation, it's also an incorrect building principle. But the church, to protect and defend Nelson, have now created it out of nothing. So now all of a sudden it exists. There's now such a thing as a chief cornerstone of the cornerstone because a prophet of the living Jesus said so. And they lead you astray, away from the truth. Because Joseph is told who our Christ is, and it's not Jesus. It's the Jewish learning, and he's Mormon, and he will start his ministry in the West, on the top of the mountains. Joseph is prophesying also here. Joseph Smith is the cornerstone of Mormonism. It is the Church of Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith is the Mormon Christ. He founded it. So Nelson again leads you astray with blatant lies. This is not the Church of Joseph Smith. This is the Church of Jesus Christ. And he didn't lie. It is because they're not Joseph Smith's church. They usurped it from him. And so there's also a prophecy that Joseph Smith gave that Brigham Young purposely did not publish, but is in the Joseph Smith Papers, and I've been going over it with you a billion times since I found it. 19 July 1840. And I had a Mormon comment about his stupidity, thinking that the Joseph Smith papers with these documents that were not published as canon are awesome and true and valuable, just as the stuff that was falsely, fraudulently written by the Danites of Brigham Young. And they're all true prophets, and Nelson's a true prophet, and everything's great. All is well in Zion. This is a Mormon in denial, who has no comprehension that he's exposing himself as stupid. Because if Joseph Smith is true, Brigham Young is false. If Brigham Young is true, Joseph Smith is false. But if Joseph Smith is false, Brigham Young can't be true. And therefore, both are false together. Mormons don't realize this. It's too complex for them. Their spiritual witness won't allow them to have that ulterior understanding. It's either true or false, all true, all false, and therefore it's not false, therefore it's all true. Dumb, dumb, dumb. But Zion is also mentioned here. The location of Zion, even. As he gives us the location of Zion in 19 July 1840 as well. It is a map. A treasure map. The map to the Holy Grail. The map to the Ark of the Covenant. All the Hollywood movies are corrected with the actual truth. Not the liberties taken by Hollywood for making of the movie. This in and of itself is a blockbuster movie. But it must be according to the story and not considered literal history, because the church has already done a movie on this. But it's made to lead you astray so that you do not know the location of Zion and the Holy Grail. The bloodline. The King of Kings. And it's in southern Illinois. Because there are 3 days of darkness designated by solar eclipses. And those solar eclipses not only give us a star date, but they also give us a location on Earth, a map, and a date of when it's to occur. And the Knights Templar knew it, and the Native Indians in that location knew it, and everybody knew it. Everybody knows. Even the enemy that infiltrated the Scottish Rites in America, which Dan Brown still screws up to this day. He cannot separate them. He just lumps them all as the same. You can't do that. The 33-degree Masons were not protectors of the secret. They were purposely to make sure nobody knows the secret so that it dies, that the date comes and goes, and Zion is not built, except for their new world order that will rise from the ashes after they destroy America. They are the anti-Christs who seek to self-fulfill the prophecies with Lucifer, not with the promised Jewish Messiah. And so that's why there's a whole bunch of Salems on the 21st of August 2017 line on the map. And right there at X marks the spot, there's another Salem, Illinois. And a Salem road. I'm the one who found that out. Did the video for you. Joseph Smith is giving us coded clues about Zion. That's what this is all about. See, the Egyptian gold plates is about the destruction of America and the need to restore Zion with the man like Moses, the Jewish Christ, the one mighty and strong, the man-child, whatever you want to call him, the Mormon, who will be in the West in Utah at the start of the ministry in 2017. And 21st of August 2017, crossed over Independence and Adam-on-Diamond. First shall be last, last shall be first. 8 April 2024 crosses over Kirtland and Manchester. That's the map that Joseph is giving you here. The pyramid has a cross because of the four sides that meet at the top. It is a cross. X marks the spot. And so Joseph Smith is telling you that the third day of darkness, the latter days, crosses over his Manchester farm. He knew this. And we know he knows it because he knew the sign in Revelation chapter 12 for the start of the latter days. 23rd September 2017. Because of the addition and the change that was made in the Joseph Smith translation. And is right there in the Book of Mormon. The Book of Mormon is the code and the map for Zion. It is the path leading to the tree of life. Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah. It's not just the perfection of the human. It's also the code, the map of where you're supposed to go as a Mormon when you hearken to the Christ, when he calls out, so that you won't be utterly destroyed. You see the damage that Brigham Young caused by turning the visions into literal history? Because if you're confused, because this doesn't sound familiar, seriously? When was the last time you went over the visions? I know as Mormon missionaries we do, and so anybody who's gone on their mission knows the story. Specifically the first vision. We don't really get into the second vision with investigators, other than to lead into the Book of Mormon, but we don't go over the scriptures per se. But yeah, there's a reason why this year is the bicentennial year, the day that shall burn as an oven. There is a reason. They knew the enemy's plans, and they tried to warn you. Because Zion and New Jerusalem are supposed to be the pyramid cities. Zion is supposed to have the temple as the capstone, the house of the Christ, where he gets coronated. April 2024. And he's supposed to have a woman with him. I don't know how. I saw a really attractive Mormon who was going to work at the church office building this morning. And because I had figured out in my mind what I could talk to her about, I was able to talk with her. And that's how I found out she works at the church office building. But she works at the lower levels. Most likely she's a cafeteria worker, but I didn't want to get that too detailed with her. I could tell she was uncomfortable and scared and timid, shy. So hot. But, yeah, I'm not mean to Mormons. I'm not gonna, hey, so how's that Jewish church of yours? And cause controversy by rattling their faith. I do that on my channel here. So people get to choose to watch my videos or not. But, yeah, I just... knowing what I know, and then seeing Mormon's response, it's heartbreaking. Because the history of the Mormons of the latter days is one of tragedy. It's far worse than Romeo and Juliet. Pox on both houses.